Dad, thanks for taking me bowling. This is fun.
I just wanted to talk to you about protecting yourself.
Dad.
You know, at some point, maybe you're posting dance vids at a party.
Dance vids?
Yeah, the dance vids. And people around you are using cable internet. You can always call me or your mom and we'll come get you. No questions asked.
Dad, I know to use internet with AT&T Fiber.
You know, it's just the people with cable internet, they could have the upload speeds of internet with AT&T Fiber and they choose not to. They're not thinking, son.
Dad, I'll be okay.
Hey, good talk, right? All right, you're up, big guy.
Don't get mixed up with cable internet. Get AT&T Fiber with faster upload speeds. Switch to AT&T Fiber and DirecTV and save when you bundle for $75 per month for 1 year after discounts with 24-month TV and 12-month internet agreements. Limited availability may not be in your area. Check eligibility at att.com/fiber300. Ends 4/13/19. New residential customers in select markets only. Price for Internet 300 and select TV package. Requires combined billing, auto pay, and paperless bill. Price is higher in second year. Pay $80 per month until discount starts within 3 bills. Equipment lease activation, early termination, equipment non-return, taxes, other charges, and restrictions apply. Compares upload speeds for Internet 300 of up to 300 megabits per second to up to 35 for Comcast, Cox, and Spectrum. Speeds vary, not guaranteed.
You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
What's going on, boxing fans? What's happening? You're now listening to Ring Kings Boxing World on the PRO Media Network. Coming live at you, man. We're representing some heavy boxing topics covering the fantastic world of professional boxing, man. All the news, notes, and items, recaps, previews, etc. I'm your host, Big Q, on Ring Kings Boxing, and co-host chiming in, boxing expert and contributor, Eddie Too Mean Johnson. What's going on, Too Mean? Everything, my man. Everything doing good in the boxing world, man. We got some interesting topics we want to cover today on this episode of Ring Kings Boxing. No doubt about it, man. Episode 380, family. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button for more content. Also, check out our YouTube page. Go there and subscribe and join the family at Ring King Boxing. Now, without further ado, getting to episode 380 of Ring Kings Boxing. We got a few topics we're going to talk about on Ring Kings. Shawn Porter and Errol Spence contract. They signed up. They both ink to paper. It's official. Shawn Porter and Errol Spence will fight. This is a very interesting fight. I'm going to get Eddie's comments, my comments as well, as I think that this is a very good move. And me and Eddie covered this in previous Ring Kings Boxing commentary. We talked about the fact that Shawn Porter took a fight against a guy, and I actually thought the guy beat him. Eddie agrees with me. The last fighter he fought against, but the luck runs out for Shawn Porter on this one. I'm not going to get too far into it, but we're going to go over it. Charlo versus Cota to recap. Of course, he couldn't get Tony Harrison. Harrison had an injury. Ultimately, they reset the fight against Cota, and Charlo put on a performance. Is he back? We'll get our Eddie comment on that. Alexander Usyk, the cruiserweight unified champion, former cruiserweight unified champion, holder of 4 or 5 belts. He has so many belts, it's ridiculous. He went up in weight to the heavyweight division, trying to mirror what many other great cruiserweights did, namely one of the greatest cruiserweights in history, in my opinion, was Evander Holyfield, as he was able to move up to the heavyweight division and become a champion as well. And Alexander Usyk is hopefully trying to follow his moves as he applied for a certain position. We'll get into it in the show. Andy Ruiz is the champion. He's the unified champion with all of the belts right now. He's talking major shit. You won the belts. He vanquished Anthony Joshua in unique fashion. Now he talking shit about Joshua, saying the man can't box. We'll give you our thought about that. And, of course, Fury versus Tom Schwarz. To recap on that, is Tyson Fury displayed his boxing skills against a very low-budget fighter, in my opinion. No disrespect to the man, but Tyson Fury took this candidate a guy ain't even a top 15 fighter and just beat him up, knocked him out. That's what he was supposed to do. That's why I love Tyson Fury, the way his personality, the way he fights. But you need to do that against top 10, at least top 15 ranked heavyweights in the world. Don't be doing that to some guy ranked way outside the top 25, and I'm supposed to be impressed with that. But we'll continue giving our thoughts on that as well. Now, the first topic we're going to get into it, Ring Kings Boxing, is Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence. Now, this is lining up, Eddie, as a really good fight. Me and you talked about this. Actually, we talked about the fact that Errol Spence and Shawn Porter need to get together in a fight. This is going to be an interesting fight. They have a lot of words being said between the both of them. Errol Spence did an interview on Fox where him and Shawn Porter were, basically talking, and there was a female in between them interviewing him. And Errol Spence is as business as usual. He's a bigger fighter than Shawn Porter. And the question was asked by the reporter to Errol Spence that would this be a fight, as many think this fight is going to be as hard as the Mikey Garcia's fight? What are your comments? You know what Errol Spence told him, Fast Eddie? He told him this fight is going to be easier than the Mikey Garcia fight. Easier than the Mikey Garcia fight. Now, if anybody watched the Mikey Garcia fight, you know what I'm talking about. You know that fight was like, Errol Spence didn't have a problem in the world. If it's going to be easier than that, then wow. And, of course, Shawn Porter didn't like that response. Errol Spence said, I heard what his father was saying. He said his father first. He didn't say what he was saying. I heard what his father was saying about me and what he was saying. But see, his father, Shawn Porter's father, is going to get Shawn Porter's ass whooped. Bottom line. But let's get right into it, Eddie. Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, man, it's going down. They put pen to paper. It's a done deal. What do you think's going to happen in this one here? Let us know.
Yeah, it's going to be, only way, I don't see no way that Shawn Porter can win that, man, because he can't, he would have to come on the inside. He damn sure ain't going to beat him on the outside because Errol Spence got the reach on him. And plus Errol Spence inside game is I think it'll be too much for him. He'll wear him out a lot quicker on the inside and then eventually knock him out. So I don't really see what his game plan was going to be to try to defeat Errol Spence, man. I just can't see it. I'm saying he don't have a reach advantage. If you fight him on the inside, he gonna get hit with those punishing ass body shots. The Errol Spence and them power punches he'd be throwing too on the inside. I just don't see how he's gonna win it, man. I don't think he has even a chance of winning that one. That's not because of styles. I think Errol Spence definitely knocks him out within 5 rounds.
This is what it looks like. IBF now. Errol Spence has the IBF welterweight championship, and of course the WBC champion is Shawn Porter. Now they're saying that the fight's going to take place at the Barclays Center sometime in the fall. They're thinking somewhere in September, possibly October or September, maybe somewhere around there. Now Spence, 25-0 with 21 knockouts, is a guy that's really looking to kind of set the tone here. And there was a lot of joint back and forth between him and Terrence Crawford, who I believe those two guys are the meat of that welterweight division. No disrespect to, just to kind of preference it for a second. I like this move because what it does is it kind of shrinks the fighters, because you had 4 belt holders in the welters. Of the top belts, you had Manny Pacquiao, he's holding 1. Then, of course, you have Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, and Terrence Crawford, the 4 top belts. And then, of course, Thurman has a secondary belt. But still in all, Shawn Porter is a guy that I think was, out of all the champions, the weaker of all of the champions. And my order would be with Spence and Crawford at the top, equally yoked. Then below them, you're looking at a guy like Thurman, then Pacquiao, then, to me, Shawn Porter. I think Shawn Porter is just holding the belt, and I think he's going to donate the belt to Errol Spence. And Errol Spence he's going to be the first welterweight, that's going to be holding 2 belts in that very difficult class. Now that says a lot, though, Eddie. If you think about it, he'll beat because my money's on him to knock out Sean Porter. Sean Porter talk a lot of shit. There's no way Errol Spence is gonna let him get closer. Mikey Garcia is a total better, complete fighter than what Sean Porter could ever possibly hope to be. And Errol Spence made short work of him. He pretty much told him in his face that it's going to be easier than the Mikey Garcia fight. And he will get his second belt. He'll get 2 welterweight belts. He'll be a 2-belt welterweight champion. And he'll be the cream of the welterweight division until something happens. Now, we know Thurman and Pacquiao are supposed to fight next month. And then Terrence Crawford doesn't have a matchup quite yet after just dispatching Amir Khan. So this kind of sets Errol Spence on a path of unification in the welterweight division. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think, like I say, he definitely gonna take Sean Porter's belt, and then the winner of Pacquiao and Thurman. You know, so I think a fight needs to be set up between the winner and that. You know what I'm saying? Unification bout. And, well, you know what I'm saying? Either Terrence Crawford can get that winner, but Keith Thurman and, which he already called out, Keith Thurman, he said, you know what I'm saying? He said after Pacquiao, if he wins, he said, come see him. Come take his belt from him. You know what I'm saying? Since he's such a weak dude in the division, he ain't been tested. He said, well, come take his belt then if it's so easy. So we'll see. I think that'll be, you know what I'm saying? I think that'll be, if Terrence Crawford was to get the winner of Keith Thurman and Pacquiao and get that belt, and then they have a unification bout between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. That would be amazing if it happens like that.
Yeah, that would be interesting because Errol Spence basically he's going to end up getting 2 belts in the welters. That put pressure on Crawford to at least go at Thurman. You know, because Thurman's not going to run away from anybody. Now we get the fights in the welters that we've been talking about for the past several years, Eddie, since we've been doing the Ring Kings Boxing Podcast. And we've been complaining about how the welters are running for each other. It's finally happening where the welters are finally facing each other, where they getting to the point where that Errol Spence and Sean Porter finally will face off. So whether it's Porter or Spence, and my money's on Spence, he'll end up with 2 belts. Then you're ultimately looking at what's happening between Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. The winner of that sets in motion. Crawford could possibly be waiting in the wings to try to challenge the winner of the Pacquiao and Thurman fight, which in my money, I would really like to see Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford fight. What do you think about that? That's an intriguing fight to me. You like that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that'd definitely be a good fight there. Because as far as Keith Thurman's style, he can box pretty good. But I don't think he's going to be able to outbox Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford will outbox him.
Be a skill.
So he'll put the moves on him, keep turning him. You know what I'm saying? So he can't really get set to use that one-time power. You know what I'm saying? He won't be able to sit. You know what I'm saying? He won't sit still long enough for him to really get them power shots off him.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. It's going to be fantastic, man. Sean Porter, Errol Spence is going down in the fall. They're saying October, September, somewhere along in there at the Barclays Center. So that is a major fight. Unification right there on the way. Could we be well on the way to a unified welterweight champion? It'll been a while since that's happening. Really exciting to see that happen. Moving to our next topic. Of course, Eddie, Jermell Charlo, 32-1 with 16 knockouts, took on what was supposed to be Tony Harrison, but of course he backed out of it with an ankle injury, and the fight was postponed to later on in the year. So we won't see that grudge match between Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo, but what we did see in its replace was Jermell Charlo facing off against George Cota and Eddie at Mandalay Bay Event Center and on Fox PBC, man. It was absolutely a smash fest as Jermell Charlo just destroyed and decimated Cota with a 3rd round knockout stoppage. You seen the fight, man. What do you thought about Charlo's performance, man, against poor Cota?
Oh, man. like I say, they brought out a whole nother beast in him. In my opinion, they cheated him and gave the belts to Harrison. So that pissed him off. So he's like, man, fuck it. I'm not leaving this shit in the judges' hands. I'm taking these motherfuckers out. So they, like I said, they done woke up a whole nother beast in him, man. So I feel sorry for whoever getting in the ring with him, man. Tell you the truth, he gonna fucking hurt somebody. I'm telling you, he gonna really hurt somebody, man. So, they better be careful. You know what I'm saying? Whoever fight him, they better be ready, man. I'm telling you. I see why Harrison, he's like, yo, he was going to fight, but his handlers told him, nah, man, you need to rest that feet up. Because, like I say, this motherfucker, he's pissed off. He ain't leaving it in the judge's hands no more. He taking motherfuckers out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, man. He definitely was upset about, the decision that occurred. And I mean, it's just, we knew he was going to be upset, but my question was whether or not he would be, would temper his anger and focus and get ready to be able to lay out a really solid performance. And if he would have fought Tony Harrison the night when he fought Cota, he would have definitely beat Tony Harrison. He would have probably knocked him out in that fight. He wouldn't have let him escape, and he's just going to have to hold that ferocity until later on in the year when he gets a chance to kind of let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah. Like I said, I think he beat him before. It was a close fight, but I think Charlo won that fight, man. But he had to be the aggression that he has. He's gonna have to be effective aggression. You know what I'm saying? Not just being aggressive like that. He gotta use his head too, fighting against Harrison, because that could play in the hands of Harrison this time if he's too over anxious, try to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? He can make a lot of mistakes like that. So I think, like I said, I think he's gonna be ready. He definitely will be ready. I think he knows what he has to do now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, don't leave it in the judge's hands. He's like, fuck that. He's like to say, like, point out the referee, because I'm gonna kill that other motherfucker. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna see. Yeah. We're gonna see exactly what happened with him, man. It's just absolutely insane. We finally, Charlo will face him. We don't know when that fight's supposed to be happening, by the way, but it's supposed to be something that is postponed until later on in this year. So he's definitely pissed and ready to do something. I'm more than excited to see exactly which one we will get. So real interesting.
It's looking good now, though.
Yes, it is.
The junior middleweight, he got J-Rock from Philly, the champ. He beat what's your boy's name? Shit. That was the dude with the blonde hair, man.
Oh, are you talking about from Virginia, Jared Hurd?
Yeah, Jared Hurd. He beat him, and then you got Erison Rubin. He's making his comeback at the loss to Charlo. You know what I'm saying? He had 2 fights. I think he had a fight. Well, he had a fight coming up this weekend.
Yes,
so that division's looking good too.
Yeah, we're getting boxing is making a resurgence. Period, man. Boxing making a resurgence. Heavyweight division from the top on down. A lot of great things happening in boxing. We're getting a lot of really good matchups. Eddie, let's go to our next topic of discussion. We're going to talk about Alexander Usyk, the former unified cruiserweight champion, winner of 5 belts, ultimately gave up that to move up into the heavyweight division. And he was made a petition to the WBO to become the mandatory challenger of the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz matchup. So whoever basically wins the rematch will face Alexander Usyk, and that is what the WBO decided to do. Let's get a little bit of the article. It says Ukrainian Alexander Usyk will get his chance in what will be his first heavyweight bout since moving up in the cruiserweight. And the WBC really stepped up and petitioned it. Now, that's really interesting because a lot of people say that that you can do that. That's within their rules and bylaws, that they can give him the mandatory challenger, become the mandatory challenger back based upon his boxing resume and what he's done. So they made a decision to make it. It sounds cool, but at the end of the day, it's really kind of screwed up because it screws people like Dylan White, who's really just been fighting, who had that one loss to Anthony Joshua, re-improved this game, moved up, and is actually trying to get into the conversation to have a fight for the heavyweight championship again. He only had that one opportunity, and he lost to Joshua. He's been chasing him ever since. And Dylan White slammed the WBO's decision to make Usyk the mandatory winner of Anthony Joshua and Ruis because obviously Dylan White wanted that. He was quoted as saying that boxing is full of shit, and he, despite never fighting a heavyweight, you're going to make him the clear-cut mandatory challenger. Eddie, what do you think about that, man? Because Dylan White does have a case. I mean, he's been fighting his tail off. He's been beating some really good boxers, trying to get another shot at the heavyweight title. Deontay Wilder looked right past him, decided to fight Luis Ortiz again. I would have liked to seen him take a fight with Dylan White. The fact that Dylan White may be tied to Eddie Hearn is the reason why Deontay Wilder probably looked past him. And then, of course, he rematched him with the big fella Tyson Fury. Speaking of Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz, who knows what happened there. But what do you think about the boxing organization decision to look right past Dylan White, who was supposed to be the mandatory challenger between him and Dominic Breazeale? They were supposed to have a fight. Deontay Wilder smashes Dominic Breazeale down. Dylan White is left standing there. What do you think about the decision to look past Dylan White and make Alexander Usyk the mandatory challenger for Ruiz and Joshua?
Yeah, he exercised his right when he vacated his title to move up to the heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Anytime a boxer that's champion vacate their belt and move up, they automatically the mandatory challenger. So that's what he exercised that right. But that's not fair to Dylan White because he's been fighting all these years, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's been mandatory for Wilder's belt for almost 2 years or a year. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's fucked up. I was like, he needed to start doing like Muhammad Ali used to do when when people was dodging. He was like, start showing up to their training camp, talking big shit, bringing the newspapers down there, and force the motherfuckers to fight. like he did Sonny Liston showing up at his crib and shit with a goddamn, he showed up at his house with a damn bear trap and put it in his yard and shit, and was on his intercom on his bus calling him out, man. Humiliating him in front of the press, and the media was eating that shit up. And he like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna give him this damn shot. I'm gonna try to kill this motherfucker now because he embarrassed the shit out of me. Sometimes you gotta campaign and shit like you running for president or something, man. Make the motherfuckers fight you. You know what I'm saying? That would big the fight up to where he have to take it because, you know what I'm saying, there'd be a lot of money involved. Like, man, people like say what Ali did to Sonny Liston, man. He made a fool out of him. He made him fight because he didn't have to take that fight. But, you know what I'm saying, Ali had his way of doing it. I mean, that could be you know what I'm saying, you can follow Ali's example, man, make them dudes fight him. Show up at their damn house and shit and be like, look, you know what I'm saying, call the media and say, look, meet me over here at Deontay Wilder's house. Oh, I got something to say to this motherfucker. Embarrass the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like Roberto Duran, what he did with Sugar Ray Leonard. He started talking shit about his woman and all that shit. It made him fight his fight. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Leonard wanted to get him so bad, but he, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what you have to do, man. If you want, you know, you know what I'm saying? Keep them from ducking them and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make a strong campaign, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, but you're absolutely right. That is definitely how it goes. It's in the rules that they can make the decision to look past the challenge at that time. And this is not just any boxer that they making a mandatory challenger. This is Alexander Usyk. He's a 5-time, 5-belt cruiserweight unified champion, and it's what it is. He was more accomplished in his career than that of what Dillian White is. It's a shame to say, but it's just what it is. Dillian White's just going to have to keep fighting until he breaks through, keep fighting some of the top fives. He's in the fights. I just don't know what to tell Dillian White, He sooner or later, his break is going to come. If it don't come this year, obviously not, but maybe next year he'll get an opportunity to get another shot at one of these guys. Something might happen different. You never know in the world of boxing. Okay, fam, let's move on to the next one. Andy Ruiz, who's the heavyweight champion after dispatching Anthony Joshua in what could be defined as probably one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, not named Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. Nobody's seen that coming except possibly Andy Ruiz in his camp. But outside of that, to be quite honest with you, Andy Ruiz has been kind of going around. He's feeling himself right now. People taking pictures with him. He's on all the talk shows. And the president of Mexico's taking pictures with him. So he's feeling himself right now. He's the champion. He worked hard. He's getting a little credit right now. But the thing is, he was quoted as saying on ESPN that Anthony Joshua is not good at boxing. He's not good at boxing. Now, you took his belt, you beat him down, you dispatched him, and then now everybody is on this brainless, they on this brainless parrot kick where everybody's repeating the same stuff. It's like people don't even have brains no more. They're not even critically thinking. You're going to say Anthony Joshua is not good at boxing. It's the same Anthony Joshua who won Olympic gold medal. The same Anthony Joshua who knocked out 20-something odd fighters on his way to unified 3 different belts. This is the same Anthony Joshua that fought more talented and diverse and stronger competition than Deontay Wilder ever fought. This is the same Anthony Joshua who dispatched Alexander Povetkin, who dispatched a guy like Vladimir Klitschko, and I don't care if he was on a 2-year layoff or not. Klitschko stay in shape, and Klitschko still was able to give Klitschko a fight. I don't even know if a guy like Andy Ruiz could even do that. So I'm saying these guys are talking this big shit, and Andy Ruiz, he's Mexican's first heavyweight champion, and kudos to him. But stop feeling even though you got the belts right now, you better get somebody to pull your fucking head down out of the clouds, because you are doing what people you say were doing to you about Anthony Joshua. That just because you look like the Pillsbury Doughboy, that you wouldn't have a chance in a fight. You have fast hands, you beat him. Don't think for a second that he ain't somewhere training right now to get ready for you. Because truth be told, we know boxing. The reality of the situation, let me ask you this, Eddie. If he had fought Andy Ruiz like he fought Alexander Povetkin, he would have destroyed him in 5 rounds. The mere fact that he did not follow the game plan and keep him away from him all night was a major issue. Don't think for a second that man gonna come in there and let you do that again. And then you got all these guys from Roy Jones Jr. to George Foreman to all these fucking boxers running around saying Anthony Joshua don't need to take the fight. Take a tune-up fight. Take a tune-up fight. Now, like I know, if he take a tune-up fight, he's not going to get an opportunity to take on Ruiz right away again. If you let somebody else get in there, you might not, the belts might go around. You never know what might happen. So what the fuck are they talking about? Don't fight him, go take a lesser fight. Go fight a lesser fight. If you're a champion, you don't need to fight a fucking lesser fight. If you're a champion and you're really great and you striving for greatness, you don't take lesser fucking fights. You take the fight that's in front of you. If you got to stump a hole in a man's ass, it ain't like Andy Ruiz is unbeatable. The guy had a good night. He had a good night. But Joshua has everything it takes to floor and destroy Andy Ruiz. He did it early on when he dropped him. If he would have, and the reality is, the only method that Ruiz has is he has to stay up under you. He has to get close to you. If he would have used the 9 inches that he had on his jab to keep him away from him, he would have won easily. But the reality that I hear all this groupthink and all these fucking people running around saying that he shouldn't take the fight because he don't know what he did wrong. What is he doing? Quantum fucking physics? You can study the tape and see what he did wrong. The major mistake was he didn't keep Ruiz away from him. The only way Ruiz could win is if he was up under you or close to you. That's the only way he has a chance. If you keep him away from you, which he's not a guy that's elusive enough to keep away from you. He stands in front of you. So it's not like he has a style that nobody can deal with. Come on, man. Y'all are y'all fucking crazy? Are you crazy? He's fought way better fighters than Andy Ruiz. He took him for granted. The next fight around, he won't take him for granted. Watch what the result will be. So you got all these people running around here talking all this nonsense, and let Ruiz enjoy his titles right now, and let him talk his shit, because he's gonna get his issue come time when this man meets again. What are your thoughts on what I just said?
Yeah, I agree. You know what I'm saying? If he come, the rematch, I think Joshua knows what he has to do, man. He can't be fighting him in close. You know what I'm saying? Giving him a chance to beat him. You know, he does have them fast hands, and he do got that power with him. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep him on the outside. Like you said, man, they got to keep him on the outside. His fight is to fight him on the outside. Don't give a fighter his fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like you vote for him to win. When you put up there fighting his fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like you voting for him to win, man. Right. You don't give him that. You gotta make he has to get that on his own. Don't give it to him. Like, fuck that. He's like, look, if you come in on me, I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna make you respect me, and you ain't gonna just keep coming in like that. That's his attitude. He's like, you know what? We get in the ring, I'm a nice guy outside the ring, but when we in that ring, I'm gonna fucking hurt you. I'm gonna try to kill your ass in there, so you best try to kill me. That's the attitude you gotta have. That's fuck that nice guy shit when you're inside the ring. You know what I'm saying? That shit's out the door. Right. It's the hurt business. You know what I'm saying? But Ruiz, he should have said that Joshua can't box. He should have said he didn't box me. Because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. He didn't box. Well, you can't say he can't. He can't box. And so he just didn't box against him.
That's the thing I'm talking about, man. It's just the nonsense. The man, you had a good night, and had he stuck to the game plan and delivered, for whatever reason he failed. But I've seen him fight better fighters than Andy Ruiz. I've seen him fight better fighters, more competitive fighters, who had more technique and more skill, more elusive than what he fought. I mean, he's fought the best in the heavyweight division on his way to winning those titles. You know, I can't say about Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry, I can't. The last 3 fights, I can't even count the Dominic Brazil fight because he smashed the piss out of him. But the Luis Ortiz fight and the fight with Tyson Fury, and of course he had a fight to give Deontay Wilder credit. He was supposed to go to Russia and fight Alexander Povetkin back in the day, and matter of fact, I think that lawsuit just came completed. They wanted some money back, but he was supposed to fight Povetkin back in the day, but Povetkin failed his drug test. So Deontay Wilder, man, had his stiffest competition prior to Luis Ortiz was Stavern, who had good, decent power, couldn't move much, was overweight, out of shape looking guy with a belt, and Deontay was able to smash him to pieces. But I'm saying, it's besides the Dominic Brazil fight, the Tyson Fury's fight was suspect. You know, that was a suspect fight. And we're coming down to what I'm saying about these fighters is like Andy Ruiz is not invincible. You know, if Joshua would have fought the right fight, which is keep him on the outside, use that 9-inch reach advantage that he had on Ortiz, he would have destroyed him. He already knocked him down the first time. If he would have just kept it up and just decimated him, Ortiz would have got more and more desperate, and he would have just succumbed to those vicious uppercuts coming in there taking chances. It's not hard to tell. He fought the wrong fight against Andy Ruiz, and it cost him. But I promise you that he won't fight that way when they rematch. And all these clowns running around here talking about don't fight him because you don't know what he did wrong and all this bullshit, they need to be quiet with all that nonsense because the man know exactly what he did. You can study the fucking film and see how he made his mistake. So cut it out, man. Let's go to our next topic. Fury versus Schwarz, the fight recap. Of course, Tyson Fury, man, took on Tom Schwarz, Eddie, and just battered and bruised the guy. Eventually ended up knocking him out. You seen this fight. You seen Tyson Fury. He displayed his boxing style, his boxing acumen, the Gypsy King. Talk a lot of mess, but he can show boxing. In my opinion, probably one of the best boxers, if not the best boxer, complete boxer in the heavyweight division. What are your thoughts on him knocking out Tom Schwarz? Were you impressed by that, or was that just was it just mediocre to you? What you thought?
When we was talking earlier, he did what he was supposed to do, but like I said, I ain't never seen no heavyweight move like him, man. For you know what I'm saying, for his side, he moves good, man. You know what I'm saying? He's bobbing and weaving, you know what I'm saying, move on his feet good, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, so he in tip-top shape. I think he'll outbox just about everybody in that damn division. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody's going to be able to outbox him, man.
No, he's special, man. Tyson Fury is special. 6'9", boxing, bipping, diving. But my only thing with Tyson Fury is his level of competition sucks. You know, he had a good fight. He took on Klitschko and took his belts. That's probably was his bell cow. The fight against Deontay Wilder was a nice fight. Showed his skills coming off a long layover. But he had fought stiffer challengers as opposed to some of those mediocre bums that he's fought. The Tyson Fury stuff, he talks a lot of mess. But the people that he's fighting, he's not fighting top tier people. Even when he had an opportunity, when he landed that ESPN deal, he could have went and got a way stiffer fighter than Tom Schwarz, who he destroyed in 2 rounds. He could at least went out and see if he can land a guy like Adam Kunaki, possibly added a Luis Ortiz in the mix. Dillian White could have been there. But he taking these cupcake taxi cab driver fights to me, and that's why I like the Gypsy King, but I just don't respect what the fuck he doing. It's like he taking these cupcake fighters and he knocking them out and he's like building up his credit. He taking safe fights. Then he'll get a difficult fight. I don't like that. The last fight, the fight before Deontay Wilder, the 2 guys he fought were bums. You know, fighters outside the top 25, outside the top 15, outside the top 10 guys that wasn't hitting on nothing. Schwarz is a guy that was undefeated, but he was not a top 20 or a top 15 fighter. He shouldn't have fought that, man. He should have fought a stiffer competition. Try to do that to Carlos Takam. He probably could beat a Takam, but he's a difficult matchup. You know, he's a difficult fighter. Fight Ortiz. Fight White. Fight some of these other guys. Kanaki. Fight some of these other guys. Don't go pick a Tom Schwarz from way out somewhere and talk and say, well, look how impressed I looked against this guy who's ranked 50th in the world or some bull crap like that. I don't know. But it's just Tyson Fury to me it has excellent skill, but his level picking these weak ass opposition, man, got me questioning whether or not he can handle stiff competition the fight after fight.
Yeah, we'll see. I said he trying to keep sharp until he get the bigger fight. I don't know. We'll see.
Some more boxing news to throw at y'all, man. Canelo Alvarez loses the title, and now the WBC franchise champ, whatever the hell that means, they just pick a belt, make any goddamn thing. Canelo Alvarez is reported by ESPN's Dan Rafael that Canelo Alvarez stated goal this year was to collect all 4 of the middleweight world title belts, but boxing's biggest star has a tougher task after being relieved of one of his sanctioned organized titles. Now, the WBC announced on Wednesday that Alvarez has been reclassified as the organization's so-called franchise champion, something that the organization recently created, and that interim title holder Jermell Charlo has been elevated to being its full world title holder. So how about that? Interim title holder Jermall Charlo is now being elevated to world title holder, and they're calling Alvarez's belt the franchise champion, whatever the hell that means. Then when Alvarez outpointed Daniel Jacobs back in May, of that highly anticipated bout. He claimed the third major of the 160-pound world belts, but now he's down to 2 with the WEC's latest move, which adds another layer of confusion to the alphabet soup. Basically what this is, and to make sense of it, family, is the fact that the WBC is basically charting Canelo Alvarez toward Jamal Charlo. That's what's going on. Meaning that if he wants that belt back, he has to go and get it from Jamal Charlo. That's basically what's happening here. So we possibly could see a Jamal Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez bout next. Could be. With this recent move, this does ramp up that expectation that we'll see a Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez fight. Eddie, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the fight I would like to see myself, man. I want to see what how Jamal Charlo how he would do against Canelo, which I think, tell you the truth, I think his style, I think he'll be able to beat Canelo. I'll go for Charlo if there was a fight. I think he's just young, strong. And I don't think Canelo gonna just run through him like a lot of people think he is. I'm saying it's a reason why he's avoiding. I know he don't have that much following, but that ain't no damn excuse, man. He fighting them other damn dudes. They ain't have much following and shit. And he got the following enough to make the money, so why not fight him? And that's the fight I want to see, though. Like I said, I think Charlo will beat him, man. Yeah.
This is the talk.
I put my money on that too.
This is the thing, Eddie. Remember, he won the belt from Hugo Centennial Jr. back in Brooklyn in April of last year. He took that interim title and has held it ever since. Now, the discussion is he's supposed to get back in the ring in middle of September, but he don't have an opponent right now. Now, they are in discussions with Golovkin as a possible fighter there, as Golovkin looking to try to get a belt against Charlo. Would be a bad decision. Now, he's 28-0, 21 knockouts, 21 years old. He is now elevated to from the interim champion to the WBC middleweight champion of the world. So Charlo has to be excited about that, finally getting that recognition, and finally coming back around him. So that was really, really a great move. Now he's considered the world champion. Now, it's like we said, it's been Alvarez's call that he wants to collect all of the belts. He still can have that wish if he wants to. He just has to go to Charlo to get it. So, that's pretty interesting right there. Eddie, what you think about that move?
Yeah, like I said, it's great, man. Cause like I said, them brothers been fighting for a long time. I'm saying they deserve them big fights, man. They earned that shit. I don't like talking about they ain't paid their due. But they paid their due. They made it to the number one, man. You know what I'm saying? Mandatory challenge. You know what I'm saying? They would give it to him. I was like, come on, man. Why y'all avoiding this brother for? And I know Triple G don't want no parts of Charlo, man.
Now Triple G's been running for a while, man, but you got guys out there that's trying to make moves like Demetrius Andrade, who's saying that he has eyes on it, but he has a fight coming up against Massage Saluki. So, I mean, they got a few fighters that's coming up this weekend that's trying to make claims here, that's trying to do some things. And, of course, Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman coming up next month on the 20th. And, Eddie, the heavyweight fight between two big old fighters, man, that's supposed to face off against each other, and Kanaki and what's his name, the heavyweights, Adam Kanowski and can't think of the heavyweight's name. I can't think of his name right now. Same guy that Deontay Wilder floored. But they got some really good fights coming up, man, and hopefully, we can see some more of these great fights continue to mature out. But congratulations to Charlo, as he is now elevated to world champion from interim champion, which definitely puts him on the path to Canelo Alvarez. And a win over Canelo is probably one of the most popular boxers, if not the most popular boxer in the world right now. A win over him would elevate Charlo's brand to levels unknown. So we'll be looking forward to that. But anyway, that'll do it for Ring Kings Boxing, episode 380. If you like the show, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the thumbs up button as well for Ring Kings for more content. So from me and To Me Eddie, thank you for joining us. Peace.
Peace.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Media Network. And support the true independent artists.
Dad, thanks for taking me bowling. This is fun.
I just wanted to talk to you about protecting yourself.
Dad.
At some point, maybe you're posting dance vids at a party.
Dance vids?
Yeah, the dance vids. And people around you are using cable internet. You can always call me or your mom and we'll come get you. No questions asked.
Dad, I know to use internet with AT&T Fiber.
It's just the people with cable internet, they could have the upload speeds of internet with AT&T Fiber and they choose not to. They're not thinking, son.
Dad, I'll be okay.
Hey, good talk, right? All right, you're up, big guy.
Don't get mixed up with cable internet. Get AT&T Fiber with faster upload speeds. Switch to AT&T Fiber and DirecTV and save when you bundle for $75 per month for 1 year after discounts with 24-month TV and 12-month internet agreements. Limited availability may not be in your area. Check eligibility at att.com/fiber300. Ends 4/13/19. New residential customers in select markets only. Price for Internet 300 and select TV package. Requires combined billing, auto pay, and paperless bill. Price is higher in second year. Pay $80 per month until discount starts within 3 bills. Equipment lease activation, early termination, equipment non-return, taxes, other charges, and restrictions apply. Compares upload speeds for Internet 300 of up to 300 megabits per second to up to 35 for Comcast, Cox, and Spectrum. Speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Dad, thanks for taking me bowling. This is fun.
I just wanted to talk to you about protecting yourself.
Dad.
At some point, maybe you're posting dance vids at a party.
Dance vids?
Yeah, the dance vids. And people around you are using cable internet. You can always call me or your mom and we'll come get you. No questions asked.
Dad, I know to use internet with AT&T Fiber.
It's just the people with cable internet, they could have the upload speeds of internet with AT&T Fiber and they choose not to. They're not thinking, son.
Dad, I'll be okay.
Hey, good talk, right? All right, you're up, big guy.
Don't get mixed up with cable internet. Get AT&T Fiber with faster upload speeds. Switch to AT&T Fiber and DirecTV and save when you bundle for $75 per month for 1 year after discounts with 24-month TV and 12-month internet agreements. Limited availability may not be in your area. Check eligibility at att.com/fiber300. Ends 4/13/19. New residential customers in select markets only. Price for Internet 300 and select TV package. Requires combined billing, auto pay, and paperless bill. Price is higher in second year. Pay $80 per month until discount starts within 3 bills. Equipment lease activation, early termination, equipment non-return, taxes, other charges, and restrictions apply. Compares upload speeds for Internet 300 of up to 300 megabits per second to up to 35 for Comcast, Cox, and Spectrum. Speeds vary, not guaranteed.